General Glen VanHerck, Commander, NORAD and USNORTHCOM.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate that. I'm going to stand at the mic. I'd like to walk around, but we're videoing this, and it doesn't make sense for them not to be able to hear me, and so I'm going to talk into this microphone. So thanks for being here, everybody. And the team that put this together, our AO, where did the AO go? Where's McGahey? Right there. Hey, thank you very much for putting this happening. I sincerely appreciate that. Our protocol team, narrator, Lieutenant Commander Dale Bombach, is that how you say that? Our proffers right here, Sergeant Boylan and Sanchez, I believe. Did I get that right? Sometimes they change them out on me. Chaplain Braswell, thank you very much for the invocation, the kind words. He does a great job. You know, Kayla Richardson, Tech Sergeant that sang the national anthem, she always runs away, and I never get a chance to coin her. So before she sang, I went over there and coined her, and she does a magnificent job. And of course, the hub staff here for putting this together. I think most of them are out right now. Welcome, everybody, especially our family members. If you're a family member, raise your hand for me. Come on. You're hiding on me. Thank you for being here. You're a foundation that enables your significant other, spouse, whatever you want to call that person, to do what they do for us, for our nations, what we ask them to do every day in defense of our homeland, the missions that we accomplish. And so our family members endure a lot. You know, I've been at this for more than 36 years, and 20 moves, I'm getting ready for 21. It's kind of like a long train ride. Chief of Staff of the Air Force told me, and there's a lot of stations you're going to stop at along the way. And what matters the most is when you get to the final station is who gets off the train with you. And we got to take care of our family members because they're so important to that foundation of everything we do. Some priorities that I have, if you go back and look at one of my early North Stars nearly 3 years ago that I put out, a couple of things in there that I talk about. And one is taking care of our people and their families and growing leaders. The number one job of a leader is to grow more leaders, by the way. I feel strongly about that through coaching, mentoring, and taking care of our members and their families, whether they be military, civilian, it doesn't matter. And that's what we're doing here today, is taking the time to recognize those members, their family members, for doing what we ask them to do through some pretty challenging times, candidly. We ask you to do and endure a lot in changing times. But we're also growing leaders, recognizing them. It's important that we motivate folks by recognizing their incredible, outstanding performance. And that's what we're doing here today, and provide that honest feedback, candid assessment. You know, if you give everybody a trophy, or when it comes to civilian appraisals and you provide everybody the same monetary amount, you really don't motivate people to do their best and be better. But when you recognize your most outstanding members, like we're doing here today, people see that and they take note and they strive to be better and they want to be those outstanding members. So it's really important to do that. And it's my honor and privilege to do this with Sergeant Major James Porterfield as well. You know, I look back at 22 and you're like, gosh, it's late 23. Why are we doing this now? Well, the process actually doesn't go fast enough to get to us. So you have to have your local awards that meet multiple boards. And by the time you get it to us, it's probably summertime, and the next thing you know, we're here in September, and it just happened to line with the conference to get everybody together. So I feel strongly that we should do this in front of their commanders, in front of the senior enlisted leaders, in front of their families, rather than hand them out earlier in the year without getting together. So waiting is a good thing to do to be able to recognize folks here today. I look back at the accomplishments of the commands. I get the privilege of commanding 2 of them. A lot of people don't realize that. They think NORAD USNORTHCOM is a single command, and we actually have people that still write, and their grammar reflects things like NORAD USNORTHCOM is going to do something. Now, we are going to do something. That's 2 commands. But it's really important to stand back and be humbled by the opportunity to stand up here in front of you and lead these 2 fantastic organizations. But it doesn't happen without people. Our most important resource is our people. And that's what we're doing, is recognizing some of our most important people here today. For those award winners here today and all those that were award winners nominated, they're award winners at some level. Congratulations. what I would tell you is your incredible work shows your character, your leadership, everything about you that people want to emulate, but it's not really about you. So many got you here along the way. And as I look back at my time, I can look specifically to leaders that starts with my mom and dad, candidly, who set a great foundation for how to be an effective leader, what matters most. You know, dignity and respect. Taught me it's better to be 10 minutes early than 1 second late. That the institution matters more than the individual. So I'd ask your award winners here today to think about who those people are that were influential in your life, that have contributed even a small amount, some of them may be in this room, to get you where you are today. And then write them a note. Thank them. You know, a personal note that shows up in your mailbox or is handed to you is way more powerful and meaningful than a text or an email. If you can't write them a note and thank them, pick up the phone and call them. That's way more powerful as well. But in today's environment, we tend to send a text or an email, something along the lines. But face-to-face interaction is really powerful, to thank those people that have helped you get to where you are today. And it may start with your parents, it may start with a significant other that's in the room here, and the coaches and mentors that you've had along the way that have empowered you, that have grown you as a leader to get you where you are today, recognized as a combatant command and a binational command award winner. That's a big deal, folks. You know, there are tens of thousands of people that start off every year competitive for an award that gets winnowed down to a handful, and then we have to have really, really tough decisions on who are we actually going to pick. And so I'd like to thank the folks that ran the panels, ran the process to get to where we are today. Thank you so much. As I look back on what you've accomplished, so much, and I'm only going to talk about the year of 2022, but in the year of 2022, we wound up our COVID support, which at one point we had, I think, 33 states with, I don't remember how many hospitals going on, more than 5 million vaccinations delivered. And you go, well, what's a big deal about that? It actually is part of our strategy that demonstrates resilience every day and capability, providing defense support of civil authorities, and it's a big impact. No other nation on the planet can do what we did, candidly, and I'm not here to reflect poorly on any other country. But the United States of America can do incredible things, and that has an impact on any potential adversary that would think about attacking our homeland or taking action around the globe. Same thing with Allies Welcome, which we conducted and wrapped up with 74,000 Afghans at 8 locations. And I remember vividly, it was a Saturday, the Secretary of Defense called me and said, hey, you need to prepare to receive up to 3,500 Afghans in the next 7 days, and it happened to be in Virginia. And then in the next couple of weeks, we went from 3,500 to 74,000 at 8 locations. We built 8 small cities. And we provide medical care, food, sustenance, everything that you need. And there was no playbook. There's no doctrine, tactics, techniques, or procedures, but you just made it happen. Other significant events that have happened. We are shaping, both in Canada, in the Department of National Defense and the Office of the Secretary of Defense, DOD, the narrative. We're shaping the budgets. We're shaping the strategies. From your activities in campaigning, institutional campaigning. Too slow for me, candidly, but I have to reflect on how far we've actually come. And 2022 was a big year to move forward with over-the-horizon radar. Now, I will tell you, there's some activities that helped us with some of that, that opened some eyes. But the bottom line is billions of dollars are being invested in Homeland Defense because of your activities. We set the foundation really for how we responded to a high-altitude balloon. That didn't just happen. It was actually a foundation that stood up a JOC, a Joint Operations Center, during 2022, and actually January of 2022 it stood up. And much, much more that I can talk about. We continue to expand campaigning as we institutionalize it, and our activities with our allies and partners have a direct contribution to integrated deterrence in both of our nations, Canada and the United States, our security each and every day. And those were accomplished by award winners here today doing multiple things. The partnerships that we expanded in the mission of transnational criminal organizations, as I gave a new mission to JTF North and also SOC North, I cannot underestimate the influence that those have had. Small and mighty, I would say, JTF North and SOC North, but really, really influential and powerful in the campaigning activities and for our nation's national security as we work with our partners, not lead, but work with our partners to combat transnational criminal organizations who I think have a direct impact on our national security. And so I'm incredibly impressed with your efforts. I would tell each and every one of you, it's not an individual award. There's probably a team behind you. You'll all recognize that as well. Thank those people. But you stood out amongst your peers as the best of the best of tens of thousands of people in a binational command and a combatant command. And I say congratulations to all of you, and very well done. God bless all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, General VanHerck. Sergeant Major Porterfield, would you please join General VanHerck? And ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the reading of the award citation. The 2022 annual award winners have distinguished themselves by exceptionally outstanding achievement to North American Aerospace Defense Command and United States Northern Command, Peterson Space Force Base, Colorado. The winners demonstrated outstanding professional skill, knowledge, and leadership, resulting in their selection as a 2022 North American Aerospace Defense Command and United States Northern Command Annual Award recipient. Their extraordinary professionalism, selfless dedication, and tireless efforts have made a lasting contribution to the commands. Through their distinctive accomplishments, the award winners have reflected great credit upon themselves, their services, and the Department of Defense. Signed, 7 September 2023, General Glen VanHerck, Commander, NORAD and U.S. NORTHCOM. At this time, we will recognize all of our awardees. Please feel free to applaud the winners as their names are called. The NORAD Junior Enlisted of the Year, from the Continental NORAD region, Staff Sergeant Isaiah Morrow.
Hey families, if you're here and you want to take a picture, come up, please don't hesitate to do that. We are having official pictures too.
Do one more?
We'll give this back to you. Congratulations.
The NORAD. The NORAD Junior Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year, from the Alaskan NORAD region, Technical Sergeant Zandalee Fritsch. Unable to join us today, the NORAD Senior Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year from Headquarters, NORAD J3, Master Sergeant Rachel Sheets. The NORAD Company Grade Officer of the Year from the Continental NORAD region, Captain Justin Bush. The NORAD Field Grade 04 Officer of the Year is from the Continental NORAD region, Major Benjamin Norman. The NORAD Field Grade 05 Officer of the Year from Headquarters, NORAD and U.S. NORTHCOM J2, Lieutenant Colonel Jack McGonigal. Unable to join us today, the NORAD Civilian Category 2 of the Year from the Continental NORAD region, Mr. Matthew Musamichi. The NORAD Civilian Category 3 of the Year from the Alaskan NORAD region, Mr. Michael Welton. The NORAD Civilian Category 4 of the Year from Headquarters, NORAD J3, Mr. Jim Keene. The U.S. Northern Command Junior Enlisted of the Year, from Air Force North, Senior Airman Hayden Wiedenhaupt. The U.S. Northern Command Junior Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year, from Air Force North, Technical Sergeant Felipe Losado Sinistera. The U.S. Northern Command Senior Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year, from Joint Task Force North, Gunnery Sergeant Corey Fishnick. The U.S. Northern Command Company Grade Officer of the Year, from Alaska Command, Lieutenant Joshua Grace. The U.S. Northern Command Field Grade 04 Officer of the Year, from Air Force North, Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Shimo.
You have a future in public affairs if you need it. Get up here in the picture.
The U.S. Northern Command Field Grade 05 Officer of the Year, from Marine Forces North, Lieutenant Colonel Chad Buckle. the U.S. Northern Command Civilian Category 1 of the Year from Headquarters, NORAD and U.S. NORTHCOM J2, Mr. Lance Geffrey. Unable to join us today, the U.S. Northern Command Civilian Category 2 of the Year goes to Air Force North's Mrs. Rebecca Clute. The U.S. Northern Command Civilian Category 3 of the Year from Joint Task Force North, Mr. Joel Matty. And the U.S. Northern Command Civilian Category 4 of the Year from Army North, Miss Janine Hollenbeck.
When I talked about COVID vaccines, she met me in California in February of 21 when we were doing vaccines out there. So that was a while ago.
Award winners, please join the official party on stage for a group photo. Please join me in congratulating all of our Command Annual Award winners. Ladies and gentlemen, Sergeant Major James Porterfield, Command Senior Enlisted Leader for NORAD and U.S. Northern Command, will now make closing remarks.
Good afternoon. All right, well, ciao is in everybody, so everybody's a little lethargic. So once again, good afternoon. All right, well, first of all, thank you, and first to thank everybody for coming out, our general and flag officers, senior enlisted leaders, distinguished visitors, more importantly, our family and friends for coming in and recognizing this special occasion. It doesn't happen, you know, like the commander talked about, it doesn't happen by chance, so special thanks to the protocol team who put this together, the action officers, the proffers, and everybody else, the narrator, and who really made this to come together. But also I want to thank the leadership that the commander talked about. Each and every one of the individuals up here who got an award, got a certificate, got recognized, it doesn't happen without your support. And whether it's just taking the time to write up the nomination, to push forward with the nomination, and then the board members kind of going through all these awards and determining who should walk across this stage during an annual award. It's pretty significant, and I know the commander doesn't take it lightly, and I don't as well. the quarterly awards, but also the local awards that happen at your level all mean something. But it's pretty special to stand up here today and just see the smiles, not only on the awards recipients, but the family members. They probably had the biggest smile in the world, and that says a lot about you and what they think of you. But it also says something in my mind to the commanders who wrote up these awards. It talks about what they think of you. It talks about, it's a representation of the effort and everything that they put into you, and also what they think about you and their commands. As the commander talked about over the past year, there's a lot of accomplishments, but all those accomplishments all towards one focus, and that focus was defense of our homelands, our #1 priority, and it's always going to be our #1 priority. But when I think about it, and he didn't say it today, but he always tells us, and that's, there's no more nobler mission than defense of our homelands, and that resonates not only throughout the commands, but everything that we do and everything we fight for. Because when you think about it in more simplistic terms, when I think about the homelands, I think about not only my wife, my kids, and my grandkids, but aunts, uncles, and future generations, and that's what we're protecting, our way of life and how we go forward. So to everybody sitting in attendance, I just want to say thank you for everything that you do. Continue to take care of yourselves, and more importantly, Godspeed and Semper Fidelis.